Hello, what's going on everyone? And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a return statement in Python. And we're still basically working on functions, guys. So we're still on functions. So we want to take a look at return statement in that of the Python. And we're going to use a beautiful scenario for this. So I want to use this opportunity to calculate the area and then the circumference of a circle if we have a radius given to us. And to do that is really very simple. Okay, so what I want to do right now, I want to put a comment first of all. I think we should start with that of the area first. Okay, let's say calculate the area of a circle. All right, so we'll have that right now. And what we're going to do right now, let's say for instance, we want to first of all, what is even the formula of an area of a circle? Okay, so to do that, what I want to do right now is I'm going to just let me put a comment and just say area, and the area of a circle is really very simple. It's actually pi multiplied by radius raised to power 2, right? And what I want to do right now, let me just go ahead and then get the symbol for that of the pi and then bring that right in. All right, so I do have the formula of that of what is it called, pi. The area of a circle actually copied to the clipboard, and this is actually going to be, I want to add a sign right here, which is a sign for that of the raised to power. Okay, so what this simply means is that we'll have pi right here. It means that area is actually equal to pi multiplied by radius raised to power 2 right here. Okay, that's just basically what that means. Okay, and if you want to translate this a little bit more, you can just do this. You can just do like this is going to be your pi. I'm going to just copy this sign of pi right here and then put it in here. So we're going to have your pi, and then the next thing you're going to do is you just multiply that pi by your radius. Okay, so this is going to be radius and multiply by radius again. Okay, so this is just how the translation is. Okay, so this is going to be radius multiplied by radius. Okay, so assuming that the radius is actually 5, it simply means that you are going to just multiply 5 by itself. Okay, so that's just what that is. I want to take this away right now, and then we're going to actually write some lines of code to be able to kind of demonstrate that. And to do that is really very simple, guys. For us to calculate the area of a circle, I'm going to start by defining my own user function right here, which I'm going to just do def, and then we can actually do something like let's say circle. This is going to be circle underscore property, like that, and control in our stuff right here. Okay, within this place, we're going to need to pass in one parameter right here, which I think before we actually do that, we need to, first of all, if we want to calculate the area of a circle, that has to be done with a module that is actually called math on that of the Python. Okay, we would not be able to calculate the area or do any mathematical calculation without getting involved with that of the math module within that of the Python. And to do that, we need to import that. So let me do that at the top right here. This is going to be import math, and with this line, we're going to have access to the pi object or whatever that we're actually going to need. Okay, within that of the Python right here. So I want to like separate this a little bit. All right, so we're going to need I want to pass in an argument right here that is actually called a radius. And after we do that, the next thing we want to do right now is that we want to be able to bring in let me create a variable first of all called the area. And if we bring in the variable called area, next thing we want to do right now is to be able to represent this formula that we've actually talked about up here. Okay, and since we have actually imported that within this particular, at the top of this particular place, the next thing we need to do is to go ahead and then try to make use of the pi object that is actually found within this particular line right here. Okay, and to do it is really very simple. Down here, what we want to do is once we create a variable called area, we want to go ahead and then grab onto the math object up there, and we're going to do dot pi. Okay, so we have that right there. And then we're going to just do multiply by, and within this place we can go ahead and then bring in the radius that we have just actually created up there, which is this particular thing right here. That's just the argument or the parameter we passed in there. And if we have that right now with programming, if you want to represent this thing that we have in here in programming, what we normally do is just do multiplication sign multiplication, which is star right there, and then we'll say 2. So this is actually going to represent that character raised to power 2 right here, this particular thing in here. Okay, so it means r, which is radius. We're using that as radius right here. You can alternatively pass r right there. Whatever you pass in there, make sure you use it down here. Okay, and then we are using 2 right here because we are raising that to power of 2. And this particular line that we're having here perfectly represents what this is for us. Okay, so that's just how we can actually grab onto the formula. And then the next thing we want to do right now is if we get down here, first of all, for us to be able to print this out, we need to return the value of this. Okay, so to do that is really very simple. If we get down here, we're going to just do return statement. I'm going to just do return, and what do I want to return? It's going to be the area, right? So if I return the area right there, the next thing that I'm basically going to do right now is to find my way to call this particular function that we have up here. Okay, I want to call that. And if we want to do it, it's really very simple. How do you do that? We're going to just say area, and we'll set that to be equal to, I'm going to copy this property right here and paste that in here. Okay, that's the circle property, and then the value that we want to use. Okay, we want to use a certain area, right? So let's say that the area that we are basically going to use, not area but radius, is actually going to be something like 5. So you can pass in 5 in here if that is the value you want to use. Okay, you can alternatively create a variable up there and then go ahead and then call it, give it this particular value right there, and then when you get down here, I'm going to just basically pass in the variable right here. Okay, so we have that right now on that particular line. Next thing is we can actually go ahead and then print the result down here, and if we want to do that, we can use print statement. So it's going to be print, and we're going to, within this print statement right now, of course, we're going to, first of all, we're going to just say area, and let's say that the area, basically we're going to print out this particular thing right here, and then to do that in Python, and then paste that in. But this wouldn't actually work unless we pass in the string parameter, which is f right here, this way. Okay, so that should be able to allow us, I think we need to extend this rotation to the end right here. This is just basically how that should be. Okay, so I believe that this is okay. If you take a look at that, and we can run this code right here and look at the name of the file that I created. I call this return stmt. You can call your own whatever you want to call that. Okay, so if I hit on run right here, you see that we get this result right here. So this is the area, and this is the value of the area of the circle. So if you change this value right here, let's say change that to 7 changes, and then we hit on run, it's still going to print out this another result for us. Okay, so you can alternatively alter the radius right here to get whatever results that you desire. Okay, depending on what they give you as the radius of the circle. So you can always pass that in right here, and then you grab onto that and then print that out. Okay, so that's just that, but I'm going to just return that to 5 for now. Remember what we talked about, what that we're going to basically be able to calculate the area of a circle and also the circumference. So I'm going to go to circumference right here. So this is going to be circumference or circumference. Okay, so, and if you want to grab onto the circumference of a circle, I think that the formula for that is actually going to be, this is going to be equal to 2, and this is going to be multiplied by pi, right? So let me get the sign of pi right here. This is going to be pi, and after that you are going to basically try to multiply that by radius, right? So this is going to be radius. This is basically the formula for the circumference of a circle, right? So we need to be on our way to finding out how we can actually represent this within our coding environment, and then we'll be able to also print out the circumference of a circle. And I want to do that, I want to integrate that with the code we already have right here. I don't want us to actually do that differently, right? So to do it, it's really very simple. What we're going to do right now is that I'm going to copy this line and I'll modify that, and once I get down here, I want to do that just right after the area right here. Let me change this to little, a lowercase letter. Okay, this is circumference, and I believe I typed circumference correctly. And what we want to do on this particular place right here is to take away this pi sign, and we can go ahead and then use math.pi right here. So let's go ahead and paste that. This is going to be 2 multiplied by pi multiplied by radius. And as simple as that line is actually going to help us be able to grab onto the circumference of a circle. And we're saving that into this particular thing right here, which is a variable right here called a circumference right there. All right, so the next thing I want to do right now is that we are returning the area right here, but this time around we don't want to return only the area, we also want to return the circumference. So I'm going to copy this and put that down here. You can actually do this differently if you want to do that. Okay, so but basically I'm going to actually also return the circumference right here, and then after that, so on this line right here where we're basically calling the circle property, which is a function up there, we also need to, let's introduce a comma and then pass in that variable right there. Okay, so, and basically the two of them are actually going to use the same area, the same radius right here. So if we pass in 5 in there, that's just fine. But I'm printing out the result right here. I want to copy this. I want to copy only this, rather I'm going to copy this, and let's make sure copy only this. And what I want to do on this is just use comma to separate the two of them. Goes the comma right here and then paste that. But then I want to change this to circumference. So this is going to be circumference of a circle, and I want to change this to the variable that denotes the circumference. So if we change this to circumference, we should be able to get the result just fine. Okay, so I believe that should be able to do it. So if we run this again, remember we'll have the area already printed out, but then down there we're going to also have the circumference of a circle. So if I hit here, you see that we now have the area of a circle comma, and then we'll have the circumference of the circle right there. And it's really very simple, right? So that's just how we can print out the area of a circle and then the circumference of a circle. So if you change the radius right here, let's change that to 6 and save, and then we'll run again, you see that the results will actually change. Okay, so depending on whatever you're passing here as the radius of the circle. Okay, so in summary, before you start doing this, you need to import this math module. First of all, import that from Python. Make sure it's actually available. You cannot perform any mathematical calculation without making sure that you import the math module into that particular file that you want to actually perform some mathematical calculation. And then here we define our circle, which we call a circle property, a function rather. We define the circle property function, and then we'll have a variable called the area, and this is the formula for that of the area. Okay, which we do have that up here. Okay, but this is how we can translate that. Our normal day-to-day mathematics would normally use this, but if you want to calculate that using a programming approach, you need to change that to what we have right here. The same thing applies to the circumference right here, and then after that we just returned all of these things that we have in here, and then we're printing out our result right here. Okay, so that's just that. If you like the video, just feel free to give the video a thumbs up, and I think I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye for now.